and running. What a day here in South Ozone Park, Queens. Final Saturday of this short spring meet at the Big A. Glad you're with us. You're breaking from the gate with us as well. It's MSG Plus, Aqueduct Insider, Jason Blewett, Maggie Wolfendale, and can you believe it, Maggie? 2 cards remain, including today here at the Big A.
Exactly. 10 races on tomorrow's card here, Jay. And, I mean, I love Aqueduct, and it's great here, especially during the spring meet when we get back on the turf course. But one thing I can't wait to get off of is the Bell Parkway.
Yes, absolutely. A tough day getting to the office earlier this morning. But, look, we're 7 days out from Kentucky Derby Day at Churchill Downs, and with that in mind, that is where we are headed for Saturday's headlines. A big day, a bevy of Kentucky Derby contenders turned in time workouts, perhaps none more important than the unbeaten Dortmund out on the West Coast for Bob Baffert, who went 3/4 in 13-3.
And he did it effortlessly, Jay. We were just watching it here again on YouTube. It's up there if you guys want to check it out. And, I mean, it just looks like he's in a common canter for the entire way around there. 3/4 in 1:13-3. And he's going to ship out Sunday to meet up with his stablemate, American Pharoah, who is already at Churchill. So Dortmund, he's been doing most of his prep at Santa Anita, so hopefully he takes the Churchill Downs course as well.
We hope that's the case. He won there as a 2-year-old, unbeaten, a perfect 6 for 6. They'll draw posts on Wednesday. Bob Baffert looks for his 4th Kentucky Derby winner. The Wood Horses, we had a whole bunch of them, Breeze. One at Belmont, one down in Florida, and one in Kentucky. Let's talk about Frosted, who was down in Florida for Kieran McLaughlin. He went 1:01 minute and 1 at Palm Meadows, and El Kabir, quick half at Belmont, 46-4.
Jay, I got to tell you, I breezed a horse on the main track at Belmont right before El Kabir put in his final work, and it was lightning fast. Like, I could have sworn to you I went in 1:01 and change, and I went 59 and change.
Whoa.
So, yeah, got a speeding ticket. Boss wasn't too happy about that. But it was a fast track, and El Kabir, he did it really easy. Kind of had a met up with company, say 3 Hail Marys, I think,
right,
was his unintentional work partner this morning. But he looks ready to go. The other gray Frosted turned in a good maintenance work at Palm Meadows, and both of them heading, one heading north, one heading south to Kentucky.
Even Tensider, he's at Churchill Downs, breezed with Manny Franco, a minute 5/8 for George Weaver, and Manny Franco rode in Kentucky, or at least the workout this morning, was back in the room for race number 2 today at Aqueduct, and you will see him on this final Saturday. Carpe Diem, he likes it at Keeneland. He's won 2 Grade 1s, and in the Cloak of Darkness early today, he breezed for Todd Pletcher. He won a half in 48-3.
Yeah, Johnny V out there on him early this morning. They were trying to beat the rain that was looming over all of Kentucky. Got it in before the track turned sour, if you will, and he did everything really nicely. According to the Clockers report, that the gallop out was really strong as well, so that's really promising.
John Velasquez will have the call on Carpe Diem, trying to become the first horse in Street Sense to come out of the Bluegrass and take the Kentucky Derby, Derby 141. And he may be as many as 4 horses in the race for trader Todd Pletcher, Carpe Diem. He'll probably be Todd's shortest priced runner, but Materiality is unbeaten, really untested, was terrific and brilliant in 3 races over the winter down at Gulfstream Park, and he is the subject of tonight's Derby Dozen as Todd Pletcher sends out the Florida Derby winner, Materiality, who is by a Fleet Alex.
Now, he never raced as a 2-year-old, so that always puts horses up against it, I think. And historically speaking, they just haven't been as successful. But he is unbeaten in 3 triple-digit buyer speed figures in those last 2. 110 for the Florida Derby win. This was over a very tiring track. I mean, you watch him and Upstart, they were laboring to the line. But it looks as though that Materiality has taken very nicely to the Churchill Downs surface there, as it's far more tighter and just doesn't seem, as far as the works are concerned thus far, as tiring as this Gulfstream Park course was. And I think trainers are actually looking forward to, and I think a lot of them that prep their horses down there say that their horses are going to be that much more fitter heading into the Derby.
He will try to buck history. Apollo in 1882, the last horse to win the Kentucky Derby without running as a 2-year-old. Horses since 1937 are winless in 58 Kentucky Derby tries, having gone unraced as juveniles. We'll see if Materiality can buck that trend. He has got a lot of history against him, and once again, they draw Derby 141 on Saturday. We'll be at Belmont Park a week from today, settling in for the Kentucky Derby. For now, though, we've got to finish things off at the Big A. Oh, we have Javier Castellano Castellano, I apologize. You caught up with them earlier today. Javi was at the Big A. I'm not used to that, and he's standing by.
Here with jockey Javier Castellano, and already having a win on the Aqueduct card today, so I'm sure you're happy to talk to me. But let's talk about your Derby horse. That is Materiality, whom you've never ridden in a race, but you were aboard him yesterday for his workout at Churchill. How did he feel over the Churchill Downs course?
I really like the way he did it yesterday. Very impressive. First time I get on the horse, and the way he did it, amazing. I like the way he handled the track. He worked 49, galloping now 101, and most important with him, the gallop. He's strong gallop, very solid horse. I know it's a young horse, but the way he does, amazing. It's a laid-back horse and very professional. And I like the way he did it.
So, did Johnny make the wrong decision?
I don't know, but I mean, it's a tough position. You know, I don't think it's going to be the right or wrong. And nothing wrong with Caperdia. Caperdia is an amazing horse, the way he's been consistent. And Materiality, I think that's a horse. He's a young developing horse, and I think he's going to improve a lot. And he's well-bred, good training. Hopefully the question is going to be the jockey.
Exactly. Now, you kind of alluded to it. He doesn't have much racing experience. How do you feel about that heading into the Derby, which it does take some seasoning to kind of overcome that herd of 20 horses. So how do you think he'll handle it?
I think he's going to handle it very well. The way he does in the morning, the way he gallops, and the way he acts in the race, I mean, it's amazing. It's a laid-back horse. It's a very, very intelligent horse. I don't think he's going to bother a lot. Hopefully he's going to have a good post out of the race, and he go from there.
Javi, this is going to be your 9th Derby, but who's counting? What have you learned most from your years riding in the race?
I think the key is going to be you got a good position in the race, first of all, and you got to put it in the right place in the right time. Hopefully you had a good trip, and hopefully you have to pray for the best trip in the world. And you need to have a horse, no question about it. And I probably just going to have, because it's the best 20 horse in the country. And hopefully he see how develop the race. You need to have experience. You need to have a confidence in yourself and go from there.
Well, Javi, congratulations on making it to another Derby, and good luck with Materiality.
Thank you very much, Maggie.
And it's good to have Javier back at the Big A. He rarely rides here. I forgot he was in the room, but he had a couple of mounts on today's card, and he was in good spirits with you, and all systems a go for Materiality.
Well, as he should be, Jay. He just came back to the room after a win on the Ramsey homebred, first-time starter there from Mike Maker. And Javi, I mean, he's just so confident right now. He's picked up his second Eclipse Award for Outstanding Rider this past year, and although he hasn't been able to get it done in the Derby, he's on the right horse. He's riding for the right people, and that really helps. And he picked up another Gulfstream Park riding title as well.
122 wins on the year, over $5.5 million in the bank already for Mr. Castellano. And whether it's Materiality or not, you do feel that one day he will be draped in roses at Churchill Downs. We come home here to the Big A. I was also so excited about Wicked Strong as a big favorite in the Excelsior, I nearly jumped the gun. Now we can get to our last graded stake of the spring meet at Aqueduct. And, of course, we've got to send it up to Larry Colmas for the call under the line.
Moves up into third. Turco Bravo is there on the outside. Then it's FNX and Micromanage taken to the back by Javier Castellano to be 7 lengths off of Red Rifle, Wicked Strong, and Turco Bravo, who race across the track into that first turn. And these three go through the opening quarter mile in 24 2/5 seconds. Stormin' Monarco follows fourth, just ahead of FNX. And then it's another 4 lengths back to Micromanage, who's got 9 lengths to make up, as Red Rifle and Wicked Strong move them onto the backstretch 1-2. Red Rifle, the leader. Wicked Strong, 3/4 of a length behind. Turco Bravo is third on the outside. Then comes Stormin' Monarco and FNX right together. 4 lengths to Micromanage, and a 49 1/2 mile. Up the backstretch, Gerard Ortiz Jr. and Red Rifle leading all the way so far, and Rajiv Mirage has the big favorite Wicked Strong 3/4 of a length behind and going well in second. Turco Bravo is there third on the outside. Stormin' Monarco and FNX are together. They're 3 lengths off the lead, and Javier Castellano asking more from Micromanage at the back of the field. He's trying to keep up. 3/4 went in 1:12 3. Around the far turn, Red Rifle and Wicked Strong steadily edging up to him with 3 furlongs to go. They are just ahead of FNX. FNX, who moves through on the inside to take third from Turco Bravo. And FNX is heading toward the leaders as they come to the top of the stretch. And Red Rifle is the leader. FNX has circled up into second, and suddenly Wicked Strong is third as they come into the final furlong. It is Red Rifle and FNX, and Wicked Strong has switched to the outside into the last eighth of a mile. Red Rifle in front, FNX to the outside. Wicked Strong no better than third. FNX on the outside and Red Rifle, and FNX has won the Excelsior. Red Rifle was second, Wicked Strong ends up third, and Micromanage was fourth.
An upset, Jimmy Jerkins once again beats Wicked Strong. He did it in the Travers with V.E. Day, and he does it with the New York-bred FNX, who got a great ride from Angel Arroyo.
Well, I hope and I'm sure that Centennial Farm are good sports. And once again, a higher-priced Jimmy horse takes down a graded stake. But to me, FNX made so much sense here, Jay. I know Wicked Strong has a huge following. That's why he was 3-5 and so on and so forth. But FNX has been crying out to go this mile-and-a-quarter distance, and he's just in stellar form right now. I mean, his two wins this year have been sensational.
He got the 10 for Jimmy J, who was on the grounds and caught up with Maggie after the Excelsior.
FNX victorious today, and seemed like a horse who was crying out to go this mile-and-a-quarter distance. Would you say that's true?
I guess so. I mean, Mineshaft, and you know, he did get a, he got a picture-perfect trip saving with that post, and was able to save ground and sit right behind the speed. And his last race, after a 3-month layoff was astounding. I mean, I'm not much of a numbers person and everything like that, but his number was, I haven't seen a number like his in a long time. So. We thought, usually when they run a race that strong after a long layoff, but his work his work about 10 days ago was really on the training track was terrific. I think he went a mile like 39, and he's been doing great ever since. So, he's had it in him. He showed it last year early. He went through his New York bred conditions pretty quick, and then he had a little bad luck during the summer. But then we got him in the summer. Then we got him in during August, and we've been working on him to try to get him settled down and get him stronger. And he's gotten a little better as the time goes on.
And he really has. He's taken down New York breds, and he's taken down Open Company. Jimmy, congratulations with FNX today in the Excelsior.
Thank you very much.
There's options going forward with FNX. He's the state bred, of course. You've got that route, but you've got a legit open graded horse, too.
Yeah, if he wants to come back for a New York bred company, we'd love to see him on New York Showcase Day, Memorial Day.
And maybe the Met Mile, little turn back for Wicked Strong. He's better than he showed today. And speaking of the Jerkins family, the H. Allen Jerkins collection currently on Naira.com. You can't miss it. It's worth checking out. And we're coming back with segment 2 here on MSG Plus. We hope you'll join us Wednesday, April 29th, 1:20 p.m., the first post over at the Palace, beautiful Belmont Park. 9-race card on Wednesday, drawn today. The past performances are out. DRF.com. DRF.com, that is, timeformUS.com. Maggie, Jason, glad to have you with us as we get back to the closing Saturday action at the Big A, race number 5. Larry Coleman with the call here at Aqueduct.
They're off. Awkward start there for Raffy's Bay. Long Island Express came out running well. Apollo 11 is out running in second. Dr. Keogh is third on the outside. And then it's Disco Joey, followed by My Bobby and Warrior Kitten on the outside. Right behind Warrior Kitten is Adirondack Posse. And now going up on the far outside, Long Shot Without Fear. And they're being followed by Act Feisty, Bad Scooter on the inside, Captain Kit, and Raffy's Bay is at the back of the field as they make their way into the turn. And Dr. Keogh is running up on the outside of Long Island Express. Very wide run there for Dr. Keogh into that turn. 24-1 was the opening quarter mile. And here comes Without Fear now on the far outside up into third, having gone by Apollo 11 and Warrior Kitten. Right behind them comes Disco Joey. Adirondack Posse running on the inside of Act Feisty, who's 5.5 lengths off the lead. Break of another 2.5 more. Back to Bad Scooter. And then it's Raffy's Bay, Captain Kit, and My Bobby on the inside. A 50 3/8 half mile, and now they're racing for the turn, where it's Long Island Express leading the way, and Without Fear, a 99-1 long shot alongside in second. And now Warrior Kitten gets going, a length and a half off of them. Javier Castellano and Warrior Kitten moving toward the top two on the far turn. Act Feisty is right there in contention too, and then it's Apollo 11, and they're coming to the top of the stretch. Adirondack Posse's about 6 lengths off the lead, and in behind Horses, and Warrior Kitten has rushed up to take the lead. It's now Warrior Kitten in front. Long Island Express on the inside second. Apollo 11 is third, and Captain Kidd is finishing well on the far outside, followed by Disco Joey. Warrior Kitten in front. Apollo 11 and Captain Kidd on the far outside. Warrior Kitten, Apollo 11. These two, Warrior Kitten looked like he beat Apollo 11 on the wire, and then came Captain.
He raced with moxie and just a talented game effort first time out from Warrior Kitten.
Yeah, and they really like this horse moving forward, as did the betting public too. I mean, when you get Javier on a horse on the turf, it's Ken and Sarah Ramsey, it's Mike Maker. I mean, all the stars align, and typically for these type.
And they, of course, hope to get lucky 7 days from today with the New York-bred international star who breezed this morning at Churchill Downs training for Mike Maker. He'll be in that race with the Ramseys, and Javier aboard a horse that was tipped out all over the place. Yeah. We move on. Race number 7 on the Saturday program. Second leg of that $250,000 guaranteed late pick 4. They went in with both fists, over $300K in the pool, and we're on the turf once again with Larry C.
Mr. Rosenthal in with Exaltation. With Exaltation now takes the lead. Mr. Rosenthal into second. Special Selection third. Testosterone is fourth. Then Change Will Do You Good and Blue Pigeon on the inside. Mr. Masterpiece is next as they make their way into the turn. Then comes Frost Jordan, who's a little bit wide. In fact, very wide. Frost Jordan not handling that turn at all. Being passed now by Eloi near the back of the field with Majestic Raffi. 24 and 2 was the opening quarter mile onto the backstretch, and it's With Exaltation, the leader by 3. Mr. Rosenthal second. Special Selection third on the outside. Then comes Testosterone, Change Will Do You Good, and Majestic Raffi out to the outside of them. Blue Pigeon, Mr. Masterpiece next, and then comes Eloi, and way behind the field here is Frost Jordan. 49 flat for With Exaltation, who leads the field into the far turn by 2.5 over Mr. Rosenthal. And then it's Special Selection in third. Change Will Do You Good follows in fourth. Blue Pigeon fifth on the inside. Then comes Majestic Raffi, who's going up there 3 wide, beginning to make some impact now. Behind them, Elwai's got 6 lengths to make up, and they're into the stretch. And it is With Exaltation, who's got a 4-length lead coming to the mid-stretch point. Then it's Mr. Rosenthal, Majestic Raffi to the outside, Blue Pigeon, Elwai, and they're coming inside the final 16th, and it's With Exaltation all alone. With Exaltation, and Jose Ortiz to win over Eloi, Majestic Raffi, and fourth was Change Will Do You Good.
Sire Kitten's Joy is having a pretty good Saturday edition of Aqueduct Insider. He had the winner of today's 5th, and he is the sire of the race 7 winner With Exaltation.
And Mike Trombetta doing a great job bringing this horse back. He looked on form to be more talented turf sprinting, but looking at him in the paddock, he was geared up, and I just knew that if you could get to the lead, then he'd probably be very effective, and that was the game plan. Jose was resolute in getting to that lead, and it worked out.
They backed off Jose Ortiz With Exaltation, a 5-1 upset in today's 7th race. We've got the serious sizzling 6 coming up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 9 as we check out the pick 5, late pick 4, and Saturday pick 6.
The outside, and these two come into the final furlong. Percussion behind them third. Chief Energy is fourth. 1/8 of a mile to go. Barrister Jim on the inside. Marriage Fever on the outside. Nose to nose at the 16th pole. Barrister Jim and Marriage Fever head and head, bobbing heads all the way down to the line. Very close. Marriage Fever was outside. Barrister Jim was on the rail, and Percussion was third. On the outside, Splendid Gold is gaining ground. Esther the Queen is there. Always Sarah, and suddenly Magical Miss is backpedaled to 5th as they pass the 16th pole. It is Zippa Tequila. And Zippa Tequila wins by 4 over Splendid Gold, Always Sarah, and Esther the Queen. In front, a length and a half lead over Hidden Knight, who now moves to the outside. Feverish Loot and Hidden Knight, 1-2 with a furlong to run. Feverish Loot and Hidden Knight. Coming up the fence, Tree Fire is next. And then it's I'm a Warrior and Shylock on the far outside. It's Hidden Knight on the outside who gets the lead now. And Hidden Knight is moving away in the late strides to win. Tree Fire was second, and then came Feverish Loot and Shylock. Into the race in second, so too Horatio on the far outside. Salisbury Knight still there. And then it's Empower and Horatio. And on the far outside, Gansett Bay next. And Chris and Lori's posse coming up the fence. But Salisbury Knight's got it. Salisbury Knight to beat Empower. And then it's either Chris and Lori's posse or Gansett Bay. Sweeping up on the outside, and Bet the Power takes the lead right now, just to the outside of Dighton. And then it's Carolinian on the inside, down to the last 16th. It's Bet the Power in front. Bet the Power, Dighton on the inside. Bet the Power's got it. Bet the Power beats Dighton. Then came Carolinian and Candyman E. Come to the top of the stretch. And Arad Ortiz Jr. looks behind for the competition. Face the races in front. Sunny Cider. On the inside, Police Camp is next. Trying to finish on a Perfect Stormy and Killer Crossover on the far outside. Face the race. Has the lead close to home. Sunny Cider. On the inside comes Police Camp. And from far behind, Frogman Mel is finishing fast. And Frogman Mel's going to go by them all. Getting up to win over Face the Race, Sunny Cider.
Just under $30,000 for 6 out of 6 winners today. We nearly had a double carryover, had the one won the nightcap, but it belonged to Angel Arroyo. Had a pretty good day and a late double, in fact, taking the 9th and, of course, the featured Excelsior. Now let's check out the rider standings with only 10 races remaining here at the Big A.
Yeah, well, it's another Angel that's got the top spot with the jockey standings. Angel Cruz still comfortably with a 3-win lead over Irad Ortiz, Manny Franco, and yeah, ironically, Angel Arroyo's not on that list, but a slow start to the spring meet, but is really caught on fire now.
And he's riding for Jimmy Jerkins, pretty much first call for the most part for that barn. That should set him up for a big Belmont Park, as David Jacobson walked away with one winner earlier today. In fact, son of Bernardini and Salisbury Knight, who won race number 2 or 3. Kier McLaughlin didn't run anything today. Second, Linda Rice. Chad Brown sit third with 7 claims. Let's check it out. Here's the box. Bet the Power. Always like seeing horses by Albert the Great win. There aren't many of them. David Jacobson picking up Bet the Power off John Terranova.
Actually, a reclaim for David Jacobson. This horse had him. David had him almost a little over a year ago, and Terranova claimed him from him in a 4-way shake for Dighton. Nick Essler picking him up, and we saw his filly that I think is pretty promising. That's Queen Esther, I think, going back to the 2nd or 3rd race. I think we need to keep our eye out on her.
Queen Esther. We've got one for beautiful Belmont Park, but again, we have got one card remaining, the magic number 10. It's a Sunday preview with Paul Silver Lining on MSG+. A backyard paradise at beautiful Belmont Park. Derby Day, 7 days out, May 2nd, this coming Saturday. Picnic lunches for groups of 4 or more, and that includes admission and a free post-parade program. Call 1-888-516-NYRA for reservations. We've got plenty of room in that backyard. And how about the sounds of Parachute, a live concert from the band Parachute. Derby Day at beautiful Belmont Park. Jason Blewett, Maggie Wolfendale alongside. Wednesday, 1:20 p.m. It all begins, a new chapter at the Big B.
Oh, I'm looking forward to beautiful Belmont Park. Hopefully the weather will be nice. It looks as though it's going to be in that long-range forecast, so I'm excited, Jay.
And 3 graded stakes on that Derby Day card at Belmont Park. Looking forward to Palace Malice's return in the Westchester. He'll run against Juba, who's got a big fan base for Centennial and Jimmy Jerkins. And how about V.E. Day getting back on the turf for Jimmy the Fort Marcy? You think he's a better turf horse?
I always have. He just looks so much more like a turf horse to me, so that's why I like him. And going back to Juba, he turned in sensational work a couple days ago over the Belmont track. So Jimmy Jerkins, he's just loaded from Bear.
It's what it's about. No better place to watch the thoroughbreds compete than beautiful Belmont Park, but I digress. We do have some racing at the Big A. 1:20 p.m. is our first post tomorrow, and it's a card with a couple of stallion stakes and also the $100,000 Bell Harbor. Paula Silverlining going to be a big favorite, and she's been very, very good for Michelle Devon.
As she should be. I mean, she's only finished off the board once, and that was her first start. Love her turning back. This is a filly that I'll admit has run well going longer, but I just think she's better going shorter, and she's going to get it today. And she really kind of stands over this field, Jay, from where I look at it.
Unless perchance can run back to that big fig second time out at Gulfstream Park. She broke her maiden, did it with the slow fig, if you will, and in a slow time a few days before Christmas in the race we're looking at, and did not run well after taking her first 2 starts in the Any Limit.
Yeah, I'm going to do the wait-and-see approach with this filly here. She's run, obviously she has a win over the inner track at Aqueduct, and she's a good-looking type, but I think Paula Silverlining's just got the class on her.
Rudy Rodriguez with Lindy's Foreign. Javier Castellano rides this filly by City Zip, who's making her Aqueduct debut.
And she was entered to run against stablemate Condo Commando going back to the Busher.
That was the Busher.
Yeah. And then they took her out. Don't want to break her heart too much, but she's done nothing wrong since going to the barn of Rudy Rodriguez. So I'm looking forward to seeing her, and what she brings to the table is coming off a bit of a layoff, though.
6 days out from Condo Commando is one of the top choices in Friday's Kentucky Oaks. We need shipping money for Belmont. We need money for Derby Week, and the man that will help us is Andy Serling as we send it on over.
Thanks a lot, guys. We've got a terrific 10-race card to close out this Aqueduct meeting on Sunday. And the 7th race is a non-winners of 1 allowance race at 6 furlongs in the dirt that feels like it could be run at Saratoga and be a top-notch race. There are some very talented and interesting horses in here, and a good mix of horses that have run fast races and some cheaper races, and some horses with potential. And one horse that I am not ready to give up on yet is the 3 First Down. Now, at some point, he's going to have to run back to his first race. But his debut, a maiden effort where he beat his stablemate Frosted, and in my opinion had a tougher trip than that one. Frosted, one of the horses to beat in next week's Kentucky Derby. First down ran extremely well, and that was his only sprint. Did not run well on a muddy track behind the talented Blofeld when he came back, and he was a total no-show first time Lasix in a very tough Holy Bull in Florida. They're going back to the drawing board, and they're starting over again with First Down, who in my opinion has talent. Now, he'll need talent to beat what's a very, very strong field. But I think maybe he can get it done, and he won't be that short a price. So for me, it's the 3 First Down in the 7th race as we head back to the studio.
First down for Randy, and you've got something brewing in race number 4 out of Cypress Hills.
Yeah, she was actually a Paddock Insider before, and she was scratched that day. But Jimmy Islam brings her back on the turf. We actually saw her half-brother, ironically Kendrick Carmouche, riding Long Island Express today, which I thought he made a decent debut. But out of Cypress Hills, she returns getting Lasix. She gets on a surface where I think she can be successful at. She's by Big Brown. There's turf on that bottom side as well. So I'm going to take a chance with the filly down on the inside tomorrow in the 4th.
Out of Cypress Hills, and we are out of time on this edition of Aqueduct Insider. Maggie, great job as always. We'll do it all again tomorrow. 10 races. That's it. The curtain comes down on the Big A. Congrats to FNX, Angel Arroyo, and Jimmy Jerkins. And we'll see you tomorrow with the first race post of 1:20 p.m.